what it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Like Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to bleed. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, coming through. This is what April the 4th, 2020. Girl, the 4th? The 27th. 2000. Where my mind at? Girl, I'm sleepy and I'm going to bed. But 2023, I did not go to sleep till 4:30 again. Yesterday I stayed up to 4:30 a.m. doing my live with you guys and covering the wrongful conviction of Mr. Wash. Right, we're gonna continue on his journey. We just gonna watch some wrongfully convicted videos of different individuals, and we're just going to just let it flow. We're gonna work on that piece if we can get it done. Had me some snacks last night. Like, girl, I just literally got up from the table, went to bed for like 3 hours, and then had to run out to work, right? So I'm just getting off my work shift. I was like, can I go home early, please, please, please? Y'all know I want to go and hang out at the park, walk. I meditate. I get so many ideas. I take sunset photography, and boom, I get off and it's raining. Girl, it's raining. Like, are you for real? So I said, you know what? Maybe I should just go home and do a live then, since it's raining and such. So let's get into it. Let me see so y'all can see my workstation. I am on my tablet. So forgive me, guys. My tablet, when I do work off of my tablet, it is quite fuzzy. Y'all, I'm trying to work it out. Kita gotta work it out. Yeah, Cadillac gonna work it out. I tries to work it out. You know, I do what I can with what I got. Okay, so let's jump right back into it. And if you do want to see where I started off reviewing Mr. Wash's story, then go to my last live. Y'all should check out them lives anyway, because people been saying they want to see my artwork. Now I'm sitting up here doing my art in front of the camera for you guys, and y'all still ain't watching. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy, girl. Like I told y'all yesterday, had me some Sour Patch. These were me and Marcello's favorite Vizzo snack. So when I eat these, I think about babe. And I think of you. Yes, I want to be your lady, baby. Oh, my boo. Okay. Anyways, let's get to working on Miss Gracie's Corner. This is for my granddaughter. Feel like I ain't gonna never finish it for her. Money said I be talking too much, girl. But I be getting into it. Y'all know I am so, like, that is my passion. Justice. I have a big passion for justice and for art. And I hate for people to be mistreated, right? Okay, so there's the Humpty Dumpty picture from Miss Gracie's Corner, and I probably only got about an hour or so. So let's just go on and start. Let's see where we don't want to watch Steve Harvey. Hey guys, what it is yoga. Let's see where the algorithm takes us, right? So now that we don't watch Mr. Wash, is it gonna show us any other Mr. Wash videos? Or, you know what? Let's just Google it. Because I've watched some other stuff since then. What's this one? Oh, that's about why I started Project Reach the World. Oh, we could watch that. Because then you'll know now the whole reason and why I did start showing you Mr. Wash and also Valentino Dixon was because I was saying that they literally drew their ways out of prison. Because of their art, they were able to break their wrongful conviction stories. Y'all know that my art, I am using it in attempts to break my husband's wrongful conviction story. So I have a name for what I do, and it's called Project Reach the World. So in this video, my channel is quite old, taking me forever to grow this channel. And before this channel, I was fighting way before the channel. So this says this video is from July 20th, 2015. But we can listen to how Project Reach the World started. And it started with Mr. Life Jennings. Y'all know Life Jennings spent time in prison. He wasn't wrongfully convicted, but he got out of prison. He did a music career, and he was like he wants to go to the Apollo. But when I seen that Must Be Nice video, oh my goodness, that literally that that inspired everything I did thus far. From my art, that inspired me to go back to graphic design school, my hairpiece, all of that started and sparked off of meeting Life Jennings. Why did I start rapping? Okay, well, honestly, I grew up loving hip hop, but it was just something I loved. It was just an art form that I loved. The reason I actually myself started rapping was because, first of all, it's been a while now. Okay, but a situation happened in my life, and a very life-changing situation. 2021, and I did not know how to deal with it. I write my best material when I'm angry or mad or sad or something. So a situation happened to me. But just to back up just a little bit, Life Jennings, I love that artist, oh my gosh. And it was the first time when I heard him that I heard somebody explain the situations that occur when a loved one is in prison. That was the first time I really heard it explained so vividly. So I really loved him. And I actually got the chance to meet him. Before I met him, I had a dream that I met him. And in the dream, I had let him know that I write songs. And he was like, "You do? Okay, so let's write songs." It's a prophetic dream. And when I met him, everything in the dream played out, except for we didn't write songs. So I thought from that point, the dream was just not complete. That I would write songs, but... So, going by this, in the dream, the one person that I was supposed to meet was Life Jennings. And once I met him, the whole trajectory of everything turned around. My art took off because I became a songwriter. And also from that, I was able to not be broke. Like, your girl been broke her whole life. Y'all remember that Nappy Roots song? All my life I've been broke, but it really don't matter no more. And they wonder why I act this way. Nappy Roots or Nappy Boys, one of them, gon' be okay. Now all my life I've been broke. Girl, I've been broke my whole life, and I wouldn't even care. Like, honestly, I don't mind working to, pay bills, this, and that. The reason why it gets to me now is just the utter, the work-life shift and the American dream. All that stuff is a lie, like, for real. Working hard don't get you nothing but basically tired. But see, back then, I ain't know that. I was just a young girl. I grew up, I was raised by two hard-working parents, two, mother and father, hard-working. So all I knew was hard work. Like, girl, that's all you did. You grow up and then you work hard. So basically, I wouldn't care about money. I was never one of those people that was all into buying the best of this, the best of that. The only reason today that I want some extra money and want to come up is because You in this legal system, that's the only thing that's going to give you a fighting chance in our legal system. See, our system doesn't pride itself on whether you're innocent or not. Our system really prides itself on money. Can you pay for legal representation? Can you pay for investigation? Can you pay? If Marcello had the money to pay, Marcello could have had the surveillance cameras at 7-Eleven where that's his alibi. Marcello could have had the resources to prove his alibi. And he could have had the resources to get like a private investigator, whatever, to investigate whether this club that they claim had no surveillance, which we find out later is a lie, because guess what? They have surveillance, and that's how they found somebody else that committed a robbery in their parking lot, is through their surveillance. So I'm not sure why they lied to us. Well, I know why they lied to us, because that them bringing that surveillance would have just proved Marcello to be right. And they definitely didn't want to prove Marcello to be right. They would rather come with no evidence than to come with evidence that incriminates them, like and not Marcello. You can't wrongfully convict somebody if your evidence that you bring is going to show that they're innocent. Juries are kind of off, but I don't think they're that dumb. I think some of them can catch on, so they don't want to give them anything that can give them an inkling that, hey, something may not be right in this situation. They don't want to do that. So yeah, you need money in this system, and that's really the only reason I really wanted money like that. And then the fact that because my husband was wrongfully convicted, it did make it quite difficult for me to raise my child alone. So to ease the burden of having to work two jobs and stuff like that, or having to work overnight because I can't afford, I keep pouring too much, because I cannot afford daycare, which her father was paying for her daycare. I wouldn't have had to afford it had they not took my husband, but they took my husband, so now I got to be able to afford everything he would have afforded, and plus what I can afford. You know what I mean? So that was the only real reason I really wanted, to come up with finances and stuff like that. It just didn't happen yet, so that's when I got on my grind. And it's But yeah, through the dream, once I met Life Jennings, that's when that all that took off, and I got them funds that I needed, and he came on home. And upon meeting him, I thought that because it was a prophetic dream, I literally thought that the whole dream was going to come true. Oh, once I do meet him, then he realizes how talented I am. Then he asked me to work with him. And then people finally see my talent. I am a very hidden underground, as far underground as you can find artists. Like, I truly do have talent. It's just that nobody can ever find me. Everybody overlooks me. No one pays me no attention. And I don't have, I don't know. It's always been very difficult. Even though I can get your attention, I have so much talent that I can get your attention. But it's like, almost like people be like, oh, no, 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 no. Too much talent. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Don't show it to me. And then it also feels like I have certain powers working against me. It feels like the devil has had it in for me for a long time. And anytime it seems like somebody or something could happen to break this chain, it immediately stops. It is broken. Like, let me tell you an example. I know that Project Reach the World, what I'm doing, everybody's not gonna care. It's gonna be me reaching that one right person that has that open heart for justice, that has open ears to listen, that understands, who has compassion, who is empathetic to others. who is not one that looks down on those who have less than they have, that sits so high above that they can't see the humanness, and you know what I'm saying. So it's a certain type of person that I have to reach, just like, blessings be to Valentino Dixon. He literally just reached out and found that right person. It's like fishing and just catching the biggest catch on your first time casting your reel out, or with a couple times of casting your reel out. I've cast my reel out so much that I'm like, dang, like, am I ever gonna catch anything? Um, but that one person. So it was one time, it was several people that, like Queen Latifah. When Queen Latifah was coming here, girl, I went all out. I was like, this has got to be the most special project Reach the World ever. Number one, I love female rappers, and I will go all out. Anytime I'm doing a project Reach the World for a female rapper, oh my gosh, because they are who inspired me. Queen Latifah very much inspired me in the way that I rap to break like Queen Latifah now was rapping about issue. They weren't sitting up here rapping about the stuff female rappers rap about now. Like, you would have never, you couldn't even pay Queen Latifah enough to rap like that. Like, there's no selling out in that manner. She wouldn't have done it. She wouldn't have done it. She would have turned that down. That was not her. And for her to make the impact that she did, she couldn't have done that. So for me, Cadillac, I couldn't have sold out in that manner, like selling myself basically to be heard. I couldn't do that if I wanted to make the impact and to break, Marcello's story of being wrongfully convicted. Like, twerking is not gonna get attention. It'll get attention, but it's not gonna get attention to his story. That's gonna get attention to something else, and they're not gonna care about his story. Like, half of the female rappers out there now, they have no voice. They can't say what they want to say. They can't do what they want to do. They can't have what image they want to have. They have to put out what they're told to put out. And mostly is over sexualized music. And then if it's not about sex, they're bragging about materialistic things. Like, none of that. How could that push my agenda to break my husband's story? But Queen Latifah, so she was a big inspiration of mine. And when I heard that she was coming to the Hard Rock Orlando, I ran out. I didn't care how expensive them tickets was. I think they were rather expensive, but I didn't give two darns. I am going to see Queen Latifah. And I know, and she said she was looking for a female rapper. You got to be kidding me. The whole thing was like, baby, she's looking for me. You're not going to find a better freaking female rapper than myself. And back then, I actually looked really good too. Like, I wasn't an ugly girl. I had a body, I had a shape. I was down to earth. I was talented. Like, I had the total freaking package, and I had a purpose, a message in my music. I could actually rap. Like, what more did you want if you was looking for a female rapper? So with Project Reach the World, I had started out with paper, and then I graduated to making these hand-painted t-shirts, which I think the first hand-painted t-shirt that I got to a celebrity, I believe, I can't recall because it's been so many, but I think was T-Pain. I think that was my first one. T-Pain or T.I., one of them. They were right around, it probably was T-Pain. I think T-Pain would have been my first one. I think the first one that I actually painted, but I had sold it in a charity, the Miracle Network or something like that, was of Lil Wayne. And I think that was my first hand-painted t-shirt. So my drawings graduated up to hand painted t-shirts that I would ball up. I had these crazy wild hairstyles that would catch attention, and I would ball up the once I got your attention, I ball up the t-shirt. Inside the t-shirt was taped a copy of my demo. On the demo was a song talking about how my husband was wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced, and it was like that was my marketing scheme to get my story out, and it got us a lot of attention, I'm telling you. And for them to not know this story is because they're ignoring this story, because almost everybody has gotten the story of Marcello Jackson, I'm telling you. And Hollywood, when you find out Hollywood, the music industry, all of it, it's a very small circle. They know who I am. I'm sure they know who I am. And I'm sure they have read that story. They have seen that bio. They have seen that demo. They have heard my Neck Bones and Collard Green song. So, girl. Anyways, I was like, Queen Latifah is coming. I got to do something different. So I bought this huge, it was a huge bed sheet, a flat sheet. Did I paint on my nose? Oh no. It was a huge flat sheet. And I hung it up as like a banner on the wall. And I was going to paint her a mural of every single female rapper thus far. This was in 2009. So now a lot of other, like a whole bunch of them came out. And a lot of them are the same, doing the same goddamn things. But a whole bunch of them came out. So I had painted that. I also still painted her a t-shirt. I made a hairpiece. It was so crazy. So I go to the Hard Rock and I'm like, oh my gosh, after this story, Marcello finna be broke and she's gonna find the female rapper that she's looking for. And guess what? I get out there, people are raving about my outfit, and they're like, oh, you look so nice, but, and I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for the Queen Latifah concert, like, oh, I can't wait. And they're like, do you know it got canceled like shortly after it started? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Then a lot of people used to tell me, you know what, you know who would help you? Tyler Perry. If Tyler Perry ever heard your story, he would help you. And I was like, for real, Tyler Perry, Tyler Perry. So finally, Tyler Perry was coming to Orlando, Florida. He was doing a show. This is in his big time, like maybe 2007 or 8 or something like that. I don't know. Let's go to my Facebook really quickly so I can show you some of these pictures. But I was like, yes, Tyler Perry. Do I have my Facebook on here? I was like, yes, Tyler Perry's gonna help me, this, and that. And I was just painting, and I was making this Medea hairpiece. I was going all out. And right before it was time to go to that show, and I promise you, he had already, why I gotta log in? I don't never remember all these freaking passwords. But right before I was going to his show was to come to Orlando, that was when Tyler Perry literally said he was just burnt out. He went on Oprah. He had ended up doing hospital time. Like he couldn't do not one more show, no nothing. He was depleted, gone to bed. And it happened literally right before his Orlando concert, his Orlando play. And I'm like, did I literally just make Tyler Perry sick? Like, how did he do all the other shows? And then I think he did pick back up some show after he got out the hospital, but it wasn't Orlando. Then it came that Mr. Light Jennings was actually gonna come back to Orlando. And I'm like, dang, okay, so now I've met all these people, I've done all this work, and I'm like, Light Jennings is coming back. I want him to see how he just inspired me to change my whole life, which in turn can change so many other people's lives. And if I had not have met him, I may not be doing, most likely I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So I'm like, yes, I cannot. It must be him. It must be full circle. Maybe it really was like the dream that it was like Jennings, but this is just, it took time. It was years later. And he was coming. I was working on this hairpiece. It had to be perfect, girl. But I'd have met Life Jennings many, multiple times after that. And he actually says that he remembers me and my daughter. Like, he actually remembers us. Trying to see, do I remember my password? I hate all these different passwords. Nope. Okay, so let's try this. Hmm. Okay, so let me tell you, that was when Life Jennings ended up. So I did get into my channel, or not channel, my Facebook page. That was when Life Jennings, y'all remember when he ended up going back to jail? He went back to prison. And I don't know, I watched a thing about his life, his unsung, and he was saying that the media made it out to be something that it was not. So we never know the truth. But I do know the media doesn't really report things. It's like one sided. Like I tell you, a case is going to be like a cube. You got to look at all sides or some type of 3D shape. It is not a flat piece of paper. Guilt, not guilt. Guilt, not guilt. One story. There's always more than one story. So when he did go to jail, girl, I wrote him. This is where these pictures came. I wrote him and I was like, I cannot believe that literally here this was the shirt that I was working on. I don't know if y'all can y'all see this? When he ended up going back to prison. And I thought that after meeting him this time and showing him all the stuff I've done, see, I never finished it because he went to prison. I never finished this shirt, but it was gonna be the best shirt ever. That's me drawing that his first album cover, and I actually wrote him while he was in prison. But yeah, so of course it wasn't meeting him that was. It felt like just every time it was somebody that I thought, or like when I just thought, this is a light sketch. You probably can hardly see it, but it was me showing me sleeping and me dreaming about meeting like Jennings, and that actually changed the trajectory of my life, get me on my artist grind, and this and that. Um, but I don't know. It just with I was gonna tell you about Steve Harvey. He used to be so freaking inspirational. That's when he had that radio show. He'd be like, Steve Harvey got a radio show. Steve Harvey got a radio show, and he would always talk about, to the guys behind bars and this and that. He would be so inspirational. It won't do full screen. So I literally, when I worked at the Super Center, that is what made my whole night. Like, I went through jail the whole night working. But then at, I think it was 5 or 6, I think it was 6 a.m. because I got off at 7. Like, I would schedule my breaks, everything around running out to hear the opening of his radio show. Because, see, this is the drawing part right here. I mean, the writing of me writing this story of how he, inspired me to do this, and that. And, sorry, just want you to see it a little bit. And when I met that man, he wasn't no ways the way I thought he was. And needless to say, I was never a fan of his ever again. So it wasn't Steve Harvey. Then it was this other guy, Michael Baisden. He basically helped break the story of Trayvon Martin, which I got some pictures of marching with. I made this sign. My sign ended up some big documentary. My posters for Trayvon Martin, but he actually was relevant in breaking that story because that would have just been a travesty. It still is, but it would have been even worse because nobody would have ever known what happened. But when I met him, I tried to meet him. He literally ain't trying to meet nobody. Like, if anybody can meet somebody, it was me. Like, but he wasn't trying to. And he would like show himself as being this one person in the limelight. And now, I don't know who I was watching, a YouTuber, they called them ambulance chasers. It's the same when something, um, who was that? Um, Okay, when injustice happens, you notice it's the same people that run to the fire, like this and that, but it is people that need help, but they won't help you unless your story's big. Which that it's like if it was true, I wouldn't have to have a big story for you to help me. Like you would just be like, dang, she needs help. Her husband's wrongfully convicted. Who sits back and knows that someone's wrongfully convicted and you have the power to help them and you just won't because their story's not big enough? Like that's superficial. That means you're not really, I don't know. But this is still me working on that Like Jennings. All of this. Like, girl, I was taking my time. And when I take my time with my art, that's when he went back to jail. And I think this is where I stopped. But that was gonna be cute. Once that was painted in, and then this is when he went to prison. I drew this with color pencil. That's him and his daughter. Drew him several pictures. I would write him regularly, which I'm not just a crazy fan. It's like this man literally changed my life. Like, and then his music is so beautiful, and it's not just that superficial music. Literally, he could put in words what I can't put in words of seeing your loved one in prison and this and that, and y'all just gotta go back and listen to his original, that first album, girl. That's him and his daughter. Then I drew this was of him and his sons. Sent him a letter with it. Look like that son is up there singing. He got a little drumstick in his hand. What? I'm trying to see the date. It looked like it says 2010. If I'm not mistaken, it does say 2010. That's the first time ever meeting Like Jennings. That's the drawing that changed everything. I gave him this drawing. Oh, you can't see it on the tablet, but I gave him this drawing and I recited a poem called 1020 Light to him. That's him. That's me meeting him. And ever since then, that's where Project Reach the World was born. And he wasn't like another person that was like, they didn't react like superficially. It was Jaheim. That man, he was so grateful for like a lot of them like, thank you, oh, this is so nice. But it was just so freaking genuine. And that's how like Jennings was. That's him signing autographs. This was shortly after I had basically maybe a year or so after that first time meeting him and Project Reach the World started forming. I didn't know what it was, didn't have a name, didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was doing some, but ain't have no, it had no real structure. It's like God was just still formulating it. I believe this was in 2006-ish or 7. I had knew that Like Jennings was coming up to the radio station, so I couldn't be in there because it was like blocked off, limited access, the who's who only. So I wrote a letter up to the radio station and drew like Jennings a picture. I don't know if you can see that on the tablet. And lo and behold, I wake up because I work overnight, and my aunt is telling me, "Did you send some letter to the radio station?" Because literally, like Jennings is reading your letter on the radio. Like, this is how impactful Project Reach the World was. I did stop reaching out to celebrities. Now I'm kind of doing it through YouTubers, reaching out to YouTubers that I admire and that impact me. And this was when like Jennings was hot. This was when he was at the top of his, game. And I was getting art to him. I drew this as a door greeter. There was this tablet that when the door went off because somebody went out without deactivating one of those we call them gator tags, or if it just already had some type of security feature in the packaging, you would have to write on this little notebook the time that the door went off and da 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 da. So this was the back of that. So in between door greeting, I was sitting up there. Okay, I wrote down the little paint, and now back to me drawing. Like this is literally what I would do my overnight shifts. Like a lot of the time as a door greeter, if I wasn't falling asleep. This is when another time I started making this hair piece. I told you I do these hair pieces. This one I was making out of a jug. That's a milk jug. Covering it with hair. I just was getting really creative. Like, you're not gonna pass me by. You're not gonna overlook me. You're gonna see me. And this was from a concert of Music Soul Child and Life Jennings. So it says music, spelt like music soul child, is my life. Life Jennings, spelled that way. This is that hairpiece. Making it, the steps in making it. So now, if I was ever to go back and edit this and make TikToks about, watch me make this hairpiece, like, girl, I just was always ahead of my time. Like, I'm tired now. I don't feel like doing like these intricate things, and I'm just, I don't know. But if literally I just started Project Reach the World in this era with all the tools that this era has, girl. It's just I've been on the battlefield so long, I'm tired. That was the shirt I had made for him that time. I don't think that time it got to him. This is another image on the shirt. Another time. That's me. That's the original picture. My cousin jumped right in front of me. So his head was kind of blocking me. This moment was just the moment that changed my life, meeting Life Jennings. I did Photoshop later, my cousin out from in front of my head. That's my cousin D underscore Almighty Mac. Now he is the blind chef. Everything's blind. Y'all have seen us do, and if y'all didn't, I'll review some of that. I had a channel about him, him being blind and me being legally blind, and the challenges we go through, but we still get through and we make it. I think in 2021, we were heavy, deep into that channel. Being blind stops nothing. And we were basically showing that, hey, I I had this one project I did in graphic design class, and it was saying disability does not mean no ability. Like, girl, just because I'm disabled, do not write me off. I got some abilities, girl. I got some extraordinary abilities that, accompany my disabilities. And that's that picture. I wonder if we still got any of these pictures. But he later was like, he remembers me. This is when me and Money met him at Tom Joyner family reunion. Y'all see I got a hairpiece up there. Look at Money. Money was so cute. Had the little round face. I always say she's emoji. Like she reminds me of an emoji. But she was so cute then. This was one that I did for that time. This painting here is from that Must Be Nice video. And then what I did was print it out. A lot of those pictures I just went through showing you, I printed them and cut them out and paste them like collage like way. And then again, writing to him how he freaking inspired me to change my whole goddamn life. Like I literally would not have. I still the things I'm doing today would not be happening had I not met him. I'm telling you. This again is another image that I painted from that Must Be Nice video. Got that to him. This is that scene when he's on that bus headed home from prison. Like right after the guard sarcastically says, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And he's like, "I'm gonna go to the Apollo, and I'm gonna." Y'all know his voice. And she's like, "Yeah, you'll be back." Like right before he just starts singing like an angel girl must be nice. But that's that shot there. And on it, I'm showing him all these hair pieces I did, and like literally, dude, you inspired this. There would be none of this without me meeting you. You know, God through God connecting us. That is more so what I should say, because it's not all just him. It's the spirit that he, has in him, and it connected with the spirit that I have. This is where he was sitting up in that park. Girl must be nice. I painted that. That's the side by side. Side by side. Yeah. So where's the? Oh, I showed y'all. Yeah. So needless to say, he went to jail. I'm like, every time it's the person that literally might actually care about Project Reach the World, something stops me from meeting them, or it completely, they just don't come here. Let's look through while we're here, because we're going to get back to that, but let's look through the Project Reach the World album. This this is my "I'ma Hold You Down" video. I literally drew this door greeting. Later in 2020 during the shutdown, I took it to Photoshop and made it graphically, like Photoshop every frame. But I wanted to make it so juvenile that anybody can understand why Marcello's wrongfully convicted. This one here, a lot of people liked it. This picture here. That's me up front praying for his return, praying that he's safe while there. And that's him sitting on the bunk crying and reading my letter. That's the night in question. Whole reason Marcello's in prison now. That's his public defender asking him if he gonna plead. Marcello said, "No, I can't take 17 years for something I didn't do." And then he responds back, "Well, then kiss your daughter goodbye." And that literally was goodbye, girl. That's me cutting his dreads off before trial. They claim that he was a black guy with dreads, which is the vaguest description you can give. That could literally be anybody in Orange County, Florida. This is me and Marcello going into court. That's the alleged victims. We getting on the elevator. They're in the elevator. Marcello's like, "Shh, shh," and I'm like, "Why?" Like he's like, "That's them." I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Those are the alleged victims." They sat there so cool, calm, collect, ain't had no problems, rode the elevator with us up, and literally during trial, they turned on that, oh, we were just so deathly afraid of him and this and that, and but you're literally like right in his vicinity, nothing is flooding back to you. That's because that ish never really happened. But that's why you're so calm and collected because that was a fabricated story. Marcello went to the bathroom. One of them followed right behind him. The guy that almost outed you, that if you hadn't have been stopped, you would be gone, gone to bed for good, for good, like Dr. Umar, for good. You'd be going to bed for good, girl. That guy, you okay to use the bathroom with him? You okay because the ish didn't happen. That's a fabricated story. That's the two guys drinking and having fun and then calling Marcello's cousin to, hey, we out here, the dance about to start. We want to get right. Come on through. Come through. Okay, I can show you where to go get right. He's taking them to go get right, drives by the 7-Eleven, and is like, sees Marcello walking on, like, oh, that's my cuz, you want to ride? Marcello like, yeah, I'd get a ride with you. Soon as Marcello gets in the car, the cops, because he's so freaking close to stopping by the stop sign, the cops see that the car rolls the stop sign and proceeds to pull the cousin over. But the reason the cousin does not pull over and cannot pull over is because he has priors and he is literally out on bond and just got out like days before this happened. He could not pull over. That was why he fled that scene. Like literally, that's the only. If he didn't have those priors, if he didn't have no record, he most likely would have pulled over. Nobody would have been in prison for the rest of their life because literally the only person that went down is Marcello. It was not known. Let me show you these charges they stacked up. It wasn't none of these. It wasn't a alleged attempted robbery. It wasn't a carjacking. It wasn't a kidnapping. It wasn't none of that. It was taking these two guys into the hood where they would have stuck out like sore thumbs to go get right and was gonna drop them back off to the club. Just so happened Marcello gets in that car at the wrong time, and then the rest of his life is gone. That's why none of the things that they claim proves anything. That's why it doesn't prove anything, because that's literally what was happening. And they're trying to say that no, that's not what happened. We were wronged, we were kidnapped, we were carjacked. Like, dude, like no, you weren't. And it could have literally been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, except for the lies of the officer, except for hiding their surveillance cameras, and except for suppressing any evidence that would turn up anything else. And then we also wanted to attach a freaking weapon so we could escalate Marcello's charges from 10 years to 40, well, really to life, but the judge was being lenient and said 40. We're going to attach a weapon that there is no evidence of. We allege that we can't find it, but if anybody actually sat back and looked and analyzed and just used any type of small amounts of brain cells, you would have seen that if there was in fact a weapon, there would be no possible way for you to have not have recovered it when you arrested Marcello. If he had a weapon, there's no way. Like literally, there is no other way except for if we were like in Spider-Verse. That's the court session. That's them taking him into custody after he lost his rigged up trial. That's me running out the courtroom after the judge said he gonna hold me in contempt of court because I can't stop crying. That's somebody saying, hey, can I help you? As I run down the escalator crying, And I'm throwing her off of me. No, you can't help me. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I ran out in the street, laid down in the street until I woke, like came back to myself and seen Marcello's public defender come out the courtroom. And before I can approach him, before I can open my mouth, that man asked me, "Do you know why Marcello got convicted?" And my exact words was, "Yeah, because he was black." And that man responded back to me, "Yeah, really, that's the only reason. Now you're going to have to appeal. You're going to have to find somebody that is willing to fight for his life." Why couldn't he fight for his life? That's what his job was to do. Then that is us visiting as a family. That was our first visit. Money was 9 months old, jumping at a several-inch thick glass and looking around puzzled, like, why the heck my daddy ain't getting me? Like, I jumped into his arm many numerous times. Like, what's this thick surface in front of me? This is later when she's a little bit bigger than, she's walking now, and he's off in prison. I call this last look back. Visitation's over, they lining up, you blowing kisses, you crying. See all my talent that nobody wants to look at? Nobody sees, nobody acknowledges. This is my single mother by day, super rapping woman by night. Now after all of that, I got to be everybody. I got to cook, got to clean, I got a broom in my hand, I got the baby balanced on my foot. Like I literally, then I'm on a phone call. I have to do everything. And this is what depleted me. This is what wore me out. This long session of being everything because you took the husband and the father. This is me. This is Marcello, baby faced, 20 years old, going into DLC. This is me. I was auditioning for a slip and slide. At the time, Trick Daddy said he was looking for rappers, and I don't know. If y'all looking for rappers, y'all must not be looking for good rappers, cause your girl got some dang on talent, like overabundance of talent. But I went to that audition handcuffed. I was chained. You see the shackle around my waist, on my hands. I got on a prison like simulated jumpsuit, and I literally performed my demo thing or whatever performance, because they do artist showcase at all these different talent shows and music conference and stuff. But at that time it was a contest, so I literally performed handcuffed. I had the microphone in my hand while I was handcuffed. Everybody literally was like just watching. Like I knew how to get attention. Like honestly, all eyes were freaking on me when we came into the building, and people were blown away. But then they'll go get some girl that's just shaking her behind and barely can rap. But that's what that came from. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like something obstructing Project Reach the World from working. And it's got to be something real strong. It's not, because at first I started thinking it was coincidences. But eventually you're like, it can't be that many coincidences in the world. Ain't no way it's that many goddamn coincidences. It is something literally stopping my progress, stopping and blocking Marcello from being freed from this wrongful conviction. So let's get out of Facebook and let's go back to YouTube. I guess we could. Oh no, I don't want to go back through all of those. Oh, I didn't show you any of the famous people. Let's see, can we get to that before? Is that Orlando? No, that's not my Orlando. These were different events. This was a group that was big back in early 2000, Big Time Rush. I'm in my Walmart, Super Center uniform. I literally stayed up. I drew, painted all these shirts for them, presented them the shirts, and they literally love it. But nobody tries to figure out, like, hey, or even read the story. You ain't got to figure it out. I got a whole bio thing right there telling you why I'm doing this. Ryan Sheckler. I don't know if you know any of these names. You might not. He was a famous skateboarder. I used to be a skateboard kid. All kinds of DJs. This was my Drake. I didn't get this one to Drake, but that's the one where I literally think that's when Drake people came out in the audience to see my hairpiece. And this is pre Nicki Minaj wearing all those different color hair. And I promise you, because he was like, that's a Drake fan. That's a Drake fan. And he said, can he take a picture of me? He was going to show Drake. And soon after that, that's when Nicki Minaj started wearing all those different color hair. Like, I like to say I inspired that. Alicia Renee, she was a BET host. Just think about if I was still doing this. I stopped years ago. That's Kid from Kid and Play. Slick Rick. Ricky Smiley. That's him up on stage holding up my shirt. Vanessa and Angela Simmons. That's me giving them my artwork. Like, it was blowing my mind that people, like, literally, I was getting my art and this story around. This is my piece that I donated to Wells Built Museum here, local museum in Orlando, Florida, after Michael Jackson passed away in '09. It still is displayed there. This was a hair piece I made. This was like so bright, and this hair now means nothing because everybody wears colored hair, but nobody was doing this like in that era when I was doing this. That's why I stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, you couldn't ignore me if you wanted to. Gorilla Zoe. Reggaeton artist De La Ghetto. Ace Hood. Do y'all remember any of these artists? Chopper from Making the Band. This also was bright, bright, bright. The picture, the camera couldn't capture it. It was so bright. And they were trying to interview Chopper, and I promise he could not, because me and my little street team, which was my niece, my sisters, they could not, he couldn't stop staring at me. It was like it was tripping him up. Like I told you about how it was with Damon Wayans Jr. He literally could not even focus on his comedy set because he was sitting there just mesmerized by my hair or my outfit or something like that. Like, I called attention. Like, baby, you ain't finna ignore me. I need my husband home. And that's them. This was something we used to go to Chocolate City Live. It was a weekly. This is Anthony Hamilton's band. Met Anthony Hamilton a couple times. Kaya. This is literally Kaya right here. And that's the shirt I did of her. She's holding it. That's Me with my 1020 life poem. That's part of the promo. Robin Thicke, he said Cadillac lost without you. Got my art to him. This is JJ Dynamite. Got my art to him when he came here to Florida. This is from when we chased down the So Def um, tour bus, and then I met one of his artists, and he's like, "Get us a demo," and this is the package, Project Reach the World package. So this is before Project Reach the World turned to T-shirts. It was paper. It was my demo that I sketched out the cover to, and it was like a business card. Y'all remember 106 at Park, Terrence J, Pro Style. This was when I was at, what's his name? George Wilburn. I made a George hairpiece. Like literally, you're not ignoring me. You finna see who I am. This is one of my Trace and RDG. I did a drop on one of their singles. Stepped up in the club. He's doing really big. Like I forgot Randy Galloway. But I think he goes. I can't remember what he goes by. But his wife is actually an artist as well. He was doing super good back then. I think he's like literally out there. I've met a lot of people that actually made it in music. I didn't never make it. But I met a whole bunch of people that did. BLB, when BLB was hot, that's that hairpiece I did for him. He stopped his whole set and was like, "Hey, get her on the Megatron." This was someone named Dev that was out back in the day. She had that song like a G6, like a G6, and it used to sound like Jesus, like Jesus. Yep. Art is my life. That was when I got my artwork to Ashford and Simpson before Nick Ashford died. This was Khloe Kardashian. That was when she was with Lamar Odom. I did pictures of Lamar and Khloe, but I didn't get it to her because they never showed up. I don't know what happened, but they didn't show up. We just stood out there. I literally forgot who this is. Mega Boys. Well, I'm glad I got all this written out because I definitely didn't remember who they were. But they were founded by the guys that found NSYNC and stuff like that. That guy, Lou Pearlman. And I literally was working on a Project Reach the World for him when he went down. When the ish hit the fan. I was working on a Project Reach the World for him. And I was just tapping everywhere, drilling everywhere because you don't know where you're going to hit oil. Geraldine Thompson, Congresswoman, House Representative. So it wasn't just musicians, it was people that were in law and stuff like that. Jordan Sparks. Oh my gosh, I remember that time. My sister literally walked up on Jordan Sparks' bus. It was like, "Is Jordan Sparks on this bus?" And they like, excuse me? Like, what? Like, we was finna reach the world. Ain't nobody playing. It's been wrongfully convicted. Kim. We got it. Got the art to Kim. I think about us. Candy Burris. I showed y'all that. I think I showed y'all that last night. La Loca. She was a radio DJ. She looks like my mother. If you could put her and my mother side by side, every time I see her pictures, and then my mother passed away, so seeing all her pictures literally like brings me so much joy because she looks like my mother. Everybody has that twin though, that one twin. This was money going with me on, we would call it Project Reach the World. Like, I don't know what to call it, but basically it was when we had an intent to get my project package to somebody. My project package was always my art, my story, and my music. And that was Money. Money used to love to meet all these people because they would just ooh and ah about how cute she is. Oh my God, she's so cute. Radio DJ, Miss B. She's on YouTube now. Bad Girls Club, Katya. This is me and Money when we were out. We were basically got interrupted my life. Money don't come in and don't see.
Hello, Ma.
Y'all, you need to speak to the viewers. Look at Money. What?
Hi, guys. Welcome to the live. That's what you want me to
Look
say?
at you.
Ew, why you got that?
I'm showing them Project Reach the World.
Alright. We no longer cool.
Look how cute you were. This is Damon Wayans Jr. Baby, big baby, Glenn Davis. That's Glenn Davis again. Getting my artwork. This is Marcello. Oh gosh. Candy Burris. This is when I went to March for Trayvon Martin.
Ma, she over there with you.
DJ ECB.
I can't afford it.
Hold on.
I'm just off.
And that's Niecy D right there.
I'm dead serious.
Oh,
That's what I
just
did.
showing Project Reach the World. And people I had got. Oh, please print. Do not pull that paint. I got my artwork too. All the celebrities and stuff. Yeah. Wayne Brady. No. We finna wrap it up because Money just got home anyway. That's a joke.
I'm savage.
I don't know. She literally just came in. I don't. No. Your father.
Hold on, my dad on the phone. Your father. Hello.
Princess, if you don't get out my paint bag.
They call me.
No, pretty.
She got me some,
Princess, oh my gosh, she's coming in collapsing things. Pretty.
Yeah.
Come on, mama. Come on, mommy.
I have to email it to her.
Pretty.
Look at me, I look malnourished. I don't have no food on my.
Okay, so this is the B.O.B. hairpiece that I did. Strange Clouds, that's when he had that album. Pretty, I'm sorry, Pretty down here trying to break into my paint bag. You move one thing from her and I promise you she trying to get the next. Like she literally ain't finna give you no time. Here. Get your ball. You want your ball? You want your dolly? You want your dolly, mommy? Give me my toothbrush. Like she come in and just start terrorizing stuff. Trying to show the folks Project Reach the World. Me, B.O.B., my sister. Like people on Facebook was like, who the heck you finna meet next? It was this video that's me making. I met him several times too. That's me making this life-size banner of him. That's them showing that I won. I couldn't get in, but my art got me in there to meet him. It was a private studio session. This is again me painting that banner, the step by step. This is on the set. That's us again. Project Reach the World, literally. This is him, and he told me he literally remembered that because it says Project Reach the World. He was like, I got one of those before. He said, because I remember the same as that princess. He was like, I literally remember the same exact pretty, don't over talk me. The same Project Reach the World. Princess, come on, mommy. She is literally gonna keep touching everything. She is not gonna stop either, y'all. Jim Johnson, producer Jim Johnson. He asked me to draw his artist at the time. I went to Miami. Terrence J and Roxy from 106 at Park. What was their name? Cool Kids? New Boys. Dang, who don't remember them? Oh, some of these are so cute. This was me and Money. I made these hip hop hair pieces, so I was hip and she was hop. Princess, no, baby. Look how cute she is. And we would just go out. And everybody would be like, why are you dressing up like that? And I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to get out the story of my husband being wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced in the state of Florida. She was over, this is Susan Taylor over Essence magazine at the time. This was during the time Trayvon Martin. Oh my gosh, that story changed my life, honestly. And this was a night of, like a vigil they had. And I made this for Susan Taylor. I did get it to her through somebody else giving it to her. But it was a gift basket with Skittles. Y'all know that's symbolic. This is us going trying to LMFAO. Y'all remember them? This is Money and her best friend. These are the t-shirts, and we're gonna try to go out there to see if somebody can get these t-shirts like to them when they were coming here. Come on, mommy. Princess. Say hey. Say hi. Hi, guys. Oh,
If you don't hear from them, then you'll know. Did they come and fix the fan?
I don't know.
What time you got here?
About an hour ago, about 5. Look at you. You and your friend. You remember this, Money?
Yeah, I did see it.
This literally was like the other day.
Don't follow her.
I'm not trying to. I'm tripping over
That's
stuff.
okay. Because I got a D, but that's still passing enough to graduate science. I said that it had made my I got passed the class for since I didn't do that recital. I got a D in the class, but they said that's still enough to graduate. So as long as that, I don't care.
Oh, this is me and Moni. Now this one's
Because
cute.
I didn't, because I had
Y'all
a
see my hair piece? Super rapping woman, single mother by name, super rapping woman. Nice. And that's me making all these little pieces and then bending them together to make a hair piece. I used to get so much attention. Me and Money. This is Candy Burris, and this is when they literally caught them giving her my shirt, and she was reading what it says on the bus. That's that episode when Kim and Nene was getting into it, and Candy's up there reading the Project Reach the World. The shirt, that's the shirt that I painted for her. That's Guapole. Flo Rida. Flo Rida was so impressed by my hairpiece. I got him some artwork. This is my little nephew. Y'all, he is now 12. And literally, this is funny seeing him. And then Flo Rida posted it to his social media. This is his social media. I was showing that he posted it. Like, literally, how did this not work? It makes no sense. All the people I've gotten my stuff to. Y'all remember White Rapper Show? The Shamrock. He's a really good guy, really cool guy, and really could rap. That's him. He had this song, Penitentiary's on Fire. Boy, that song really touched me. DJ Missy D pulling me up on stage, telling everybody, like, before she does all the shows here in Orlando, and she's like telling the crowd how literally Tom Jordan looks for me every time he comes to town. Like, where's my girl? Where my girl at? It's me and J. Anthony Brown. That's Money.
She's Asian. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, you were saying about the bill.
Yo.
Cause my mom she grabbed my hair viciously trying to hit me.
Lil Boozy. This was one of my first ones. Did I just tell y'all? I think I just told y'all T-Pain was my first. I wonder if it was Boozy or T-Pain that was the first part. I really still think it's T-Pain.
That's what I'm saying.
Casky.
It's like when people don't do stuff,
Krayshawn. Pro Style. DJ Pro Style. Kendrick Meeks. This is when I protested with that's Senator Grayson, or I don't know if he's senator. Hey, I can't remember what he was now. Congressman. But basically we were protesting the conditions in that super center. The way they were treating the workers and stuff. This is when I marched for Trayvon Martin. That's my painting that ended up on a national documentary. Holding it high above the crowd. That's when we were marching for that super center. Basically to be treated, equally and fair. And literally, this is when they got arrested. They would go to clapping and cheering once someone finally got arrested. Like, it was crazy. Whew. So y'all know I've been out there, like, advocating for equality. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We might have to wrap this on up real soon because it's not working no more. Princess is doing too much, guys. Y'all know when Princess get home, that's it. Show's over. Until she be going to bed. Once she gone to bed, then we can get back to our work. But Princess, she just keep looking at the, she just want to see herself. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna let y'all go here. We'll pick it back up. Hopefully not 3 or 4 in the morning, but we'll pick it back up later. All right, guys. Check out some other lives. Check out Project Reach the World, and just keep supporting your girl. Help me free Marcello Jackson. All right. Hiss your girl Cadillac. How do I stop it?